every time I walk into the center always amazes me with its ambience, with the kind of facility that it has, and with the kind of branding that has been done in this center. Now the thing is, last time when I visited the center, I had a word with Dr. Smita who was heading the menstrual clinic at GNH Hospital, Gurgaon, where I am right now. Today, I am here to meet one more gynecologist who is again a very specialized with a focused intent in women health. This center is obviously branded as one of the biggest women health center in at least Delhi NCR. So I would be today talking to Dr. Monica Agarwal, who is heading the Center for PCOD. That's a clinic, that's a PCOD clinic that she is heading, and she has worked for numerous years in UK after completing her MRCOG in UK, and she specializes in the PCOD and the fertility problems. So I would right now walking into this Kilkari Mother and Child Center, which is the gynecological center of GNH Hospital, and we'll meet Dr. Monica Agarwal inside there, and let's see what she has to tell us about the PCOD and the fertility treatments that are available here, and what all we can do. You know, PCOD is not such a big deal that most of the gynecologists will tell you about. It can be easily managed by just slight lifestyle changes. So let's see what Dr. Monica Agarwal has to throw light on that.
Today I wish to speak about PCOD. PCOD, or as we all know, is basically polycystic ovarian disease. And why we wish to discuss, it is perhaps the most common endocrine disorder which is affecting women in the age group of 18 to 44 years of age nowadays. Medically speaking, we roughly estimate as 5 to 10% incidence in this age group, and hence we understand that it's very significant. More than the actual incidence of the PCOD condition, it is an overly diagnosed condition as well. It is interchangeably used with the term PCOS, and we need to understand the difference between the two. PCOD per se means seeing a lot of cysts in the ovaries, and when we get an ultrasound done for any reason, we get very alarmed to see this finding. But as such, I need to clarify that per se PCOD does not cause problems. It is only problematic when it starts to create hormonal disturbances, and then it actually becomes a condition called PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome. Chiefly they will manifest as menstrual disturbances, delayed periods, excessive facial hair, acne, and difficulties in conception. Most of the times a lady, when she's suffering from any one of these conditions, tries to approach her doctor, and that is when she's referred for an ultrasound, and from there it starts. Today we need to understand, it's a very common question, why me, and what is the chief cause of PCOD? It's a combination of genetic and environmental factors. Definitely, family history of PCOD makes you more vulnerable to develop PCOD, but it's a lot of environmental factors which are adding to it. Mostly it is linked with obesity, lack of physical exercise, increasing stress in our day-to-day lives, and our dietary disturbances. All these in combination can lead to a condition as we know in medical terms as insulin resistance. That's the key from where the problem starts. Once you develop insulin resistance, your hormones start to show resistance. We have all the hormones intact, but they stop functioning in a proper way. Medically speaking, when we say the root cause of this problem, because of the insulin resistance, we have an excess of male hormones as well as an excess of female hormones, because of which the ovulation process goes haywire. There are multiple cysts in the ovary which are arranged in a peripheral manner. It is not just like any other multicystic ovary, but a polycystic ovary has a typical description called a string of pearls appearance. Now, how we can work to modify it? Our chief areas of target interest are to correct insulin resistance, to correct the androgenic side effects in terms of increased acne and increased facial hair, and thirdly to improve the chances of conception. Now this can be achieved by targeting weight loss through a very properly modified diet, including exercises in our routine physical activity, and getting proper counseling as to how we need to organize ourselves. Because more than the menstrual disturbances and the infertility bit, PCOS needs to be understood because it's a lifestyle disease. People who are suffering from PCOS tend to develop diabetes at an earlier stage in their lives, hypertension, metabolic syndromes, and overall it's a vicious cycle. So when we are trying to treat PCOS, we are trying to, number one, correct the menstrual irregularity. Number two, we are trying to correct the underlying insulin resistance, which can be very well addressed by weight loss. And by doing dietary modifications, which includes in the form of low glycemic index diet and including exercises in your daily routine, we can achieve a very good BMI, and which can start to correct the hormone
problem. I've seen that people with PCOD generally find it difficult in getting pregnant or conceiving.
Right.
So what is the role that PCOD actually plays in these problems?
Right. PCOD per se, as I discussed, means multiple cysts in the ovaries. Now it's actually a misnomer. They are not cysts, but they are small follicles which had started to develop in the ovaries, but there is a follicular arrest. So none of the follicles becomes predominant in the ovary so that it could reach the pre-ovulation stage and release the egg for conception. Because of that, we have multiple follicles in the ovary which are lining the thing, but ovulation is not happening. And anovulation is the main cause of infertility in PCOD. So when we try to correct the anovulation, we've got some very good medications like metformin, clomiphene, and even FSH-stimulating medications by which we can correct this underlying imbalance and try to promote healthy ovulation.
Another problem that we see with the patient in PCOD is the hair growth, the facial hair growth and unwanted hair growth, and it goes sometimes beyond your imagination as well.
Right.
So by medication, can this be treated, or you need to go into a cosmetic center to get the hair removals and all done till the time you actually rectify the problem?
As such, PCOD, the basic metabolic problem is hyperandrogenism, where we have an excess of male hormones in the body. Every female has some male hormones, so nothing to worry about it. But we have one test, free androgen index, that we do in PCOD patients in order to detect the actual level of excessive male hormones. Now, when we try to correct the underlying imbalance, the hormonal imbalance, automatically there is a correction of this imbalance of androgens and estrogens, which does help with the hair growth in PCOD patients. Having said that, anti-androgens are there which will help as well. But in addition to all this, we can definitely seek the help of cosmetic dermatologist as well in giving some topical treatments in the form of hair removal, creams, etc. But when we try to treat this problem of hormonal imbalance from the very root, it does help a lot.
So it's a long-term treatment?
Yes, it is basically a lifestyle modification. We need to understand it's not a one-day process. We need to keep an eye on it, and we need to go about it in a very systematic and methodical manner with proper guidance, because there's a lot of myths surrounding PCOD. People get very, very distressed when they are labeled with this diagnosis, and in fact, the mood disturbances are known to occur with PCOD patients. So we need to understand the disease process in its entirety and go about it in a scientific manner so that we could address it and know how to control it.
Okay. So what I would request you, if you could just throw some light on the myths that are surrounding PCOD, so that people who are having this problem should be benefited by getting out of this cloud of myths about PCOD.
People with PCOD, they have a very big feeling that I can never be pregnant again. There are lots of people who feel that, okay, now I'm saddled with PCOD, now there is no hope for me in life. They in fact go into depression thinking that it's an incurable disease and now I have to just live with it. In fact, they're not bothered as much by the other problems as by the diagnosis and the label or the stigma of PCOD with them, because they feel it's an incurable disease. It's not like that. It's a lifestyle disease process. Like we learn how to manage our diabetes, like we learn how to manage hypertension, we learn how to manage PCOS, and we can lead very healthy, productive lives, nicely circumventing all the side effects and leading good lives even if we are diagnosed with PCOS.
So if I ask in percentage, how much is lifestyle change, how much percentage is lifestyle change, and how much percentage is the medication? That is a combination of the entire treatment for PCOD.
I would actually give almost 80% weightage to lifestyle modifications and only 10 to 15% of weightage to medication. There has been a lot of research regarding the treatment of PCOD, and as quoting the latest guidelines of the Royal College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, they have tried to compare lifestyle modifications, medications and surgery, and they have found weight loss as the single most effective therapy for PCOD. There are certain medicines which are licensed for use in PCOD in the form of metformin, birth control pills, and there are certain medicines which help to control your acne and hirsutism, but these medications are only short-term measures. The long-term measure which is going to have a far-reaching impact in the treatment of PCOD is definitely weight loss and lifestyle modifications. So we need to understand how to address it, and we also need to understand the basic psychology, the basic pathophysiology of the condition, so that we can address it in an intelligent. Now the role of surgery in polycystic ovarian disease has been established, has been explored in the form of laparoscopic ovarian cyst drilling. They have tried to diathermize those cysts in the ovaries by using laparoscopic measures, but the results have not been found to be any more effective than simple lifestyle modifications and dietary measures. So surgery is not definitely not the first line of treatment. That is for very few resistant cases where all other measures have failed.
Thank you so much, Dr. Monica. Thank you so much. It was great enlightening viewers about the PCOD and the myths surrounding PCOD. You have tried and clear as much as you can, and I hope these people will be able to gather some more information on this and would be able to approach the right doctor who is expert in PCOD treatment, rather than going to any gynecologist who might just do surgery even. So thanks a lot for joining us today. Thanks so much.
Thank you.